Welcome, beloveds, and blessed summer solstice. We are at a turning point where the sun reaches its highest point in the sky and in turn invites us to reach to our highest limits of light. So in this video, we'll guide you through the energies of the solstice. We'll be talking about what's rising in your soul, what's ready to bloom, and what guidance the universe has for your journey forward. We will also be adding an astrological flair to this. My partner Michael, the astrologer, will be contributing his input, his cosmic wisdom, in our reading for today. So settle into a sacred space and let the light of the sun and the wisdom of spirit guide you home to yourself. I'm Sedona, and I'm so honored to be here today with my partner Michael. He's an astrologer, and he's here to offer some deep cosmic insight into our solstice reading. We're going to be weaving in some magical and mystical energies with the tarot, and then also pulling some wisdom, some cosmic wisdom from the stars. So Michael, what do the stars have in store for us during this solstice time right now?
Well, one of the things that's interesting about the solstices is they happen shortly after we make an alignment with the supermassive black hole at the center of our galaxy in Sagittarius A. So we can think about that as a time when we're kind of getting our information, communication from a really divine mystery. And so this is a time when we're trying to process all our spiritual lessons and teachings, and in particular, I'm an evolutionary astrologer, which focuses a lot on the nodes of the moon, which get at kind of our soul purpose and our soul intention. And collectively, right now, that is in the sign of Pisces. So the soul intention right now is for unity consciousness. Pisces has those two fish swimming different directions, the yin and the yang, kind of the extremes of the sublime beauty and the sublime awful. And so trying to wrap our minds and our hearts around that unity consciousness to heal from division and really be one is what we're working on right now. At the solstice right now, interestingly enough, when we're talking about kind of those tension between extremes, are two very harmonious aspect patterns, but they're squared off with each other. The centers of them are, and the centers of them are both kind of the two teaching planets, Saturn and Jupiter. So there's some big lessons going on right now, and it's going to be hard lessons because of the square. It's kind of hard to reconcile those two energies, very different approaches. The one is the Sun and Jupiter in Cancer, and it's sextile to Mars in Virgo and the Moon in Taurus. And the other one, which is really a significant energy that's going to be going on through September, is going to back up a little bit, and then next March it'll be exact, which is Saturn and Neptune making a conjunction in Aries, and that's sextile to Pluto in Aquarius, and Uranus, it's in Taurus right now, but it'll be in Gemini, which is a really significant spiritual process that we're all going through. But right now, those things are kind of in conflict. So it's trying to resolve those two big energies for this solstice.
And just to let everyone know that I have obviously grounded myself and shuffled the cards and randomly chosen. The Spirit obviously has given me the guidance on where to place the cards. They said to pull 7 cards. So this placement is specifically for the solstice. It's allowing us to gain wisdom through the placements. So let's begin. So as you'll see on the screen, I will show you the card, and I'm looking at the card right now. So the first placement, or the first card, is representing of the light I carry. And this position reveals kind of our truth, our gift, our inner strength that is ready to shine more fully in your life. So here, what was randomly chosen is the King of Air. This is the sovereign of clarity, integrity, and wisdom. This card speaks of like strong communication, clear vision, and a mind that is aligned with truth. And it is inviting you to step into your role as a guide, someone who leads with fairness, discernment, and inspired thought. On a collective level, this is a call for all of us to rise into conscious leadership, to speak truth not just to ourselves, but also for healing and elevation in our communities, our systems, and our earth. So as the solstice sun reaches its peak, the question is what inner light of wisdom is asking to rise within you? So Michael, I'd love to hear, does this card align with any astrological insights or themes that you're seeing for the solstice?
Well, that larger aspect pattern that involves all the spiritual planets, transpersonal, those really transformative energies, the two that are supporting the central Saturn-Neptune conjunction are in the air signs, Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini. So really about you're talking about mastering that element of air and communication and relationship building. Pluto in Aquarius is kind of empowering that collective energy of raising voices that are less heard from or marginalized, and really trying to equalize power and create more of an egalitarian society. In Gemini, Uranus in Gemini, Uranus has that, it rules Aquarius, so it's more of that kind of revolutionary, evolutionary energy of really communicating about how do we make a true society of equality and a true unified world.
So the second card, that is the next position, is going to be representing the seeds I've planted. This invites us to look at the intentions, the efforts, or even the healing work we've done in the past, and how those energies are beginning to bear fruit. So the card that was chosen, randomly chosen, is the Three of Air. And this is a card of insight born through experience. It speaks about learning from emotional wounds, rising from the heartbreak, and turning sorrow into wisdom. The seeds you've planted may have come from difficult soil, maybe. But even so, growth is happening. So collectively, Spirit tells me that this card reminds us that the heart of humanity has been stretched. Yet, it's also been strengthened. Grief has softened us. Loss has awakened us. And Spirit also says, and through that, new awareness is taking root. And as I'm looking at this card, it definitely is talking about a deeper compassion, a call to unity, and a wiser way forward. So Michael, what astrological transits or influences do you feel are echoing this theme of healing through awareness, or maybe even the experience?
Well, and I think you were talking about learning from wounds and from grief and loss and being softened in that process. The center of that really big spiritual alignment, the Saturn-Neptune conjunction, merging those two energies. Like I said, Saturn and Jupiter are two different methods of teaching. Like Jupiter often teaches by abundance and opportunities and new things, and Saturn will teach in the opposite way by restriction and lack and loss. And So with Saturn and Neptune, it's kind of this collective process of grief and loss that we're all going through, and the opportunity there is to be softened and to also the three of air is like being together in that process.
So the third card placement I've titled Where I Am Blossoming. And this is about a reflection of that part of you that is ready to come into full bloom during the solstice season. The card that was randomly chosen is called Healing. It's sacred and tender message actually in this one. As I'm looking at the card, it speaks about restoration of the heart, body, and the soul. And you are not who you were. And the work you've done, both seen and unseen, is an opening actually a space for renewed wholeness. So Spirit tells me that this blossoming may not look like fireworks. It may be soft and unfurling, and gentle return to self. It's like a piece reclaimed from chaos. And it reminds us that healing is a powerful, powerful form of growth, and one that roots us more deeply into the purpose. And as a collective, Spirit says this card invites us to move beyond survival and moving into restoration. To ask not just like, how do I keep going, but how do I truly thrive? The world is aching for soul level healing, and that begins with each of us. So it leads me to ask, Michael, I'd love to hear your perspective on this one. Are there planetary influences encouraging healing and inner restoration at this time? Some of the things you mentioned kind of make sense it would.
Well, I'm going to keep with that larger aspect pattern, as the three main aspects of it are all the transpersonal or the spiritual planets, and anytime healing is involved, they're usually around, and when they're all working together in this harmonious way, there's a large amount of healing that's taking place and moving beyond survival. Really the center of it, that Saturn Neptune in Aries is like the Mars and the root chakra and the chakra systems, which has a lot to do with our feelings of safety and security and our basic survival and our physical existence and our physical body. And so those are that's kind of the focal point right now for this whole year-long collective process, is really healing the root chakra and collectively moving beyond survival.
So the fourth card that I placed down, the placement I've titled The Shadow Beneath the Sun. And that's either the hidden or the unconscious energy that may be asking for that to be acknowledged, transmuted, or possibly even released as we fully step into the light. And so here we're met with the card, the random card of desire. Now, this is a complex and sacred energy. Desire fuels creation, actually. It's what stirs the soul and awakens dreams. But when it's left unchecked, desire can lead us astray, pulling us into illusion, distraction, or maybe even cycles that don't even serve us anymore. So Spirit is asking, what do you truly want? And even go deeper, or beneath that is why. And that's the term of checking in with your desire. It's not about shame or suppression. It's about honesty, clarity, and conscious choice. On a collective level, it's kind of like desire reminds us to examine what drives our world. Are we building systems from soul-aligned longing, or from greed, fear, or intolerance? I mean, this is a powerful moment to realign desire with truth and heart and with the greater good. So Michael, are there any planetary aspects now that might be stirring the waters of desire or shadow or even a deeper emotional truths?
Well, to keep focusing on that big aspect pattern, I think I've talked about some of the spiritual opportunities and transformation and positive aspects and possibilities, and there is the shadow side. And with the root chakra and Mars in Aries, the shadow would be desire for oneself only, or thinking only of oneself. And like I said, we're in this process where we're trying to get the big picture and all be together and be in that unity consciousness. And the resistance to that is to kind of cling to that self-serving energy and to follow those desires, which, if you're following the desires and the shadow of Neptune, can be chasing after illusions of thinking this is going to make me happy, this is going to make me satisfied. But if they're really these materialistic and kind of lower desires, that ultimately there's going to be disillusion, there's going to be disappointment. If you're doing spiritual practice and meditation and you're aligning with those higher energies, there can be great transformation and a feeling of security no matter what is happening in the world. But if you're chasing after the illusions and distractions and the shadows, this can be a really difficult time.
So the fifth position of the card I titled The Fire That Fuels Me. And this is a look about what is into energizing your soul and what sparks your purpose and what keeps your inner flame alive. So as I'm looking at the card that was randomly chosen, it's the Sage. So this wise one, I'm looking at it, he's speaking to the power of knowledge shared, stories passed on, and the deep fulfillment that comes from being of service through truth, actually. Your fire, something that Spirit has definitely been pushing this message through on this solstice, that your fire is not reckless if it is tempered by experience. You are fueled by learning and by teaching and by walking your talk. So this solstice, you may be feeling a call to step up into mentorship role, or possibly even to seek one. Either way, wisdom is the fuel and the flame. So the other message on a collective level that Spirit says is that Sage calls on humanity to move beyond reaction and more into reflection. To live not just louder, but deeper. And it reminds us that passion without purpose is like a wildfire. But with intention, it becomes a light that guides. Michael, I mean, it definitely sounds like there's cosmic influences right now that would encourage wisdom, sharing, and mentorship. But could you please tell us more about that in the pursuit of deeper truth?
Well, I'm going to still stay with that larger aspect pattern. And this Saturn oftentimes is the archetype of the teacher and the mentor. So really teaching about that unity consciousness, and like the higher octave of Neptune and Saturn is bringing those dreams and that crown chakra and that unity consciousness all the way grounded, rooted in the physical reality with Saturn and with the Aries energy. So there's the potential for this really great spiritual learning right now, and it doesn't have to be done alone, because you have Pluto in Aquarius, you've got groups to support you, you've got friends, you've got Uranus in Gemini, you've got an open, airing and a lot of communication going on in connection. So there's, having a teacher and having a Sangha and a spiritual community to support us all. We have that. So reach out for that, especially if you're feeling really personally impacted by all this.
So card 6 is something that I titled The Path of Highest Illumination. This is the direction or the practice that brings you into greater alignment with your true self and your highest purpose. So the card that was randomly chosen is the Six of Earth. And it's the card of balance, generosity, and sacred reciprocity. You know, it speaks to a life of give and receive. And Spirit really wants to bring home this point to you. It's about the rhythm shared energy between you and the world. Your highest path may not be found in like grand gestures, but more in small, consistent acts of love and service. That's what this card represents. And this card reminds us that we are stewards, not just seekers, and that we tend with care. And when we tend with care, it actually flourishes. So collectively, this is the call for sustainability in how we relate to resources, to one another, and to the earth herself. It's time to root our light in actions that nourish greater whole. Michael, are there any planetary aspects highlighting these themes of generosity, responsibility, and a balance at this time?
Well, I think this is a good time to look at that other harmonious aspect pattern that's kind of squaring off with the larger collective one. It's a little more transitory and ephemeral, but kind of sets a tone for this year. And the center of that is Jupiter and the Sun in Cancer, which is a very generous and nurturing energy, and Mars in Virgo as a part of that, which is perfect for like small and detailed acts of service. Virgo is a very serving energy. And the moon is the other supportive energy to that Cancer, and that's in Taurus, which is the heart chakra, and it's also earth, so it's very also grounded, but an energy of love and service. And so there is a lot of support for what you're talking about.
And our final card, the seventh card, I titled Sacred Offering to the Light, in honor of the solstice, a reflection of what we can give back in gratitude and reverence in alignment with the solstice energies. So the random card that was chosen, it's an oracle deck, not a tarot. The message comes from the ancient forest, a symbol of endurance and wisdom and quiet strength. This card invites us to reconnect with our roots, to ground our energy and honor the earth, and remember that we are a part of something much older and wiser, more than what we can see. And your offering could be something like a prayer, a song, maybe a conscious breath in nature, or possibly it's just simply your presence, steady, aware, and listening. Collectively, this card is powerful. It's a call to return to the earth with humility and devotion. The light we carry is not just for progress. And Spirit's definitely telling me that. And it is not just for progress, it is for preservation. And the most sacred offering we can give is to live in harmony with all that sustains us. So Michael, do you sense any astrological guidance that speaks to the ancient wisdom of earth connection and spiritual stewardship and at the solstice point?
I think it would be good to pull back and look at the nodal path, the collective soul path, and what our collective spiritual lessons are right now, which is that Pisces energy, the crown chakra, the unity consciousness, and also combining that with this big spiritual planetary alignment, which is focused on Aries, on the root chakra, and Neptune and Saturn in Aries, and really bringing those dreams into reality, like bringing heaven down to earth and really manifesting our highest self in a physical, concrete, material way, which is not easy to do, but to live in harmony and to live in sustainability and to live in intimate, sacred connection with the earth and with each other, we really do have to blend and bring all those energies together.
Well, thank you very much, Michael, for giving us your cosmic insight. But also, is there anything else you would like to add, astrologically speaking, and considering the solstice for our viewers?
Well, I think that larger spiritual aspect pattern that I've been talking a lot about, it's going to be going on all the way through September. It's going to go retrograde for a little while, and then it'll be really exact next March. So if you happen to know a little bit about astrology, or you're just in the early signs, if you know you're in the early signs of certain degrees like Aries, Aquarius, Gemini, this will probably be really personally impacting you. It'd be a good time to do extra healing work, to align yourself and try to work with this. It'd be a good time for astrology readings. If you're also in the early degrees of Cancer, Leo, Libra, Sagittarius, or Capricorn, and that might be a little even more challenging because it would be a square or opposition at work with this big energy. Again, it's a good time to bring all your healing tools out, and I wish you, unity consciousness, and I wish you the best in this healing journey.
These messages you've received today support you on your path for improvement, clarity, and purpose, and spiritual evolution, and hopefully this will help the fire that's in the season burn away what no longer serves you. And also, if this message resonates with you, please put a comment, maybe a bright sun emoji, and like, share, and if you haven't subscribed, please do so. We're going to have more of these during some good astrological times. We'll share this format with you. So from our spirits to yours, blessed solstice, and may your light lead you home. Namaste.